Hello and welcome to the new video. Today we're going to take a look at some battles that just got sent to me overnight with the 100% level 50 variant of Necrozma. If you have access to the other forms of Necrozma, like anybody who listens to this one, would really appreciate if you could send in some gameplay as well. Always the link is in the description. Also, Marshadow would be very interesting, and also Rotom Heat would be interesting. But anyway, I very much appreciate this content here as well. Hopefully you do as well. If you do, feel free to leave a like. But anyway, we want to see here a great catch already against the opponent's Ho-Oh, as the opponent seems to be lagging a little bit. Again, I did not look at the gameplay yet at all, so okay, they're going back here anyway with the Ho-Oh, so like I guess it was just a short lag for the opponent. In comes the Brave Bird, going to get shielded. You can align yourself, which is always kind of nice with Ho-Oh because you have Sacred Fire, which is going to be able to 50% at least of the time drop the opponent's attack stat, which is quite helpful. Here it also happened, and so the opponent is going to be kind of in a tough position. They are forced to go for an Iron Head here to knock you out. I don't even know if an Iron Head would be enough. You decide to use a shield anyway, as another Sacred Fire coming the opponent's way. This is going to knock them out, basically. Not quite yet, but we're gonna see now Necrozma in action here. Level 50 or 100%. Look at it, like, I don't know what like kind of move that is, but it is quite interesting. As you're gonna see now, the Dark Bolt's going to be able to go up against the opponent. Does it connect? It does not. But now you should be able to... Oh, you're actually gonna go straight for the next Dark Bolts. I thought you might want to go ahead and go for the other move, but I guess like one Stone Edge definitely is enough, and also most likely a Sensier Storm is at this point enough. So it's going to be a tough battle to still win, but I guess you can still even survive a Sensier Storm with your Dialga, and so I think you're going to be in a decent spot. As the opponent goes for it straight away, you actually have the Iron Head stored anyway, don't mind me, and this is going to be game as the Dialga in the back has 1 HP, and so you can win this one. Moving on, let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to have here the Palkia in the lead. Kinda a nice matchup, honestly, like the matchup that you kinda want. And we're gonna see now the Mewtwo against the Necrozma. It is a little bit of a scary matchup, and I think you're going to... Oh, they're gonna decide to go for the bait here as well. That is very, very awkward for you. I think you're going to lose this actually in the two-shield scenario, because the opponent should have Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball should one-shot you, because Necrozma is quite a squishy boy. Let's see here. Shadow Ball is going to connect here, but they decide to use a shield. You're forced to go for a charge move here as well. This is going to be able to get the final shield most likely from the opponent, as they can now align themselves, which is quite awkward for you. But I guess you can still deal with it. Here we're going to see that this is definitely going to knock you out, but you can go into the Ho. Exactly, I would also say that, because now you can... Oh no, they can actually still go for a Side Strike. That's a little bit more annoying. But what you can do is you can go for a Brave Bird now against the incoming Palkia if you want to. This is going to put them into the deep yellow health, I think. Just close to red. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, exactly. And this is actually an okay matchup, I think. I don't think this is going to knock you out immediately here, but I still think you're going to most likely lose this battle, because you are not going to do too much damage now anymore. You can still go for the raw... Oh, you have to go for the raw of time here. This is not going to be enough. That is awkward, but I guess maybe your play is to try to farm them down with your other Pokemon there. Ah, no, that is not the play. I think if you went for the raw of time, I think you still had a chance here at least, but like this, there's no way of winning this game, so like forfeiting is the right choice there. Awkward lead, very awkward lead here. You're going to stay in for a little bit. You win the Zero Shields as far as I know with this kind of form, but you swap out now into the Necrozma, trying to just get some Dragon Breath damage onto the opponent and then dip. As the opponent goes for the Sensier Storm, we see already like one Stone Edge would be enough now to knock you out, but in comes the Dialga. This is like the one kind of downside of Necrozma, which I hope that they fix in the future, which they can fix, because Necrozma also has some signature moves, which I'm actually curious why they're not in there yet, because in the trailer they kind of showed them. But yeah, Necrozma would have some cool Psychic type signature move, which would be kind of cool for the Open Master League as well. But we don't have any of them in there yet, so that's kind of sad. Anyway, here we're going to see the opponent going for an Iron Head here, actually, which is a little bit annoying, because now, okay, they don't get to another charge move anyway, so it's fine. In comes a Mewtwo. You can go for the fire type move, Sacred Sword, Sacred Fire, Sacred Sword, that's definitely the move. But you don't get the debuff here, which is kind of awkward. I think the signs here are in Chinese or something, so I'm not really capable of reading those things all the time, so sorry about that for this video. But as you're gonna see here, we're gonna get the Sacred, I want to say Sacred Sword again, Sacred Fire here onto the opponent, and this time around you're gonna get the debuff, which is quite important, because now you're going to be able to easier survive that with your Dialga in the back now as well. if they're gonna get to a move, which they do. And so you can go up to the Roar of Time, and Roar of Time should be all it takes to hopefully win this battle. That was actually closer than expected because you lost like one fast move drop there basically because of the debuff, but let's take a look at this one. It is going to be enough and you can knock out the Mewtwo. Next opponent, we're going to have the most annoying Pokemon. I guess like that's kind of what you can expect at the current time anyway. Basically, right now, anybody who plays the Master League is going to run Pokemon that are insanely strong in this because we have all 3 leagues available, and so most people that have like something like a Zygarde built already are going to play the Master League. Here we're going to see the opponent gonna go ahead and go for one or more charge move with the Landorus, dropping your attack, but you can still go for the Dark Pulse, which is not going to do enough damage here. Dark Pulse is not really a great move anyway, but as you're gonna see here, Sensei Storm not going to knock you out, and you can still reach another move with a little bit of lag. So let's take a look at this one. The opponent is going to use a shield here, and you're going to be able to go into, I guess, your Ho-Oh? I'm not too sure. You can also, it's your Ho-Oh, okay. It's going to be a Sensei Storm area like this, so you're going to let the move go through. That's kind of great for you. You can try, it's kind of annoying that you didn't get the fast move through, which you were supposed to be able to get through there, but it is what it is. You can still go ahead and go for one big Brave Bird here. Debuffed still does a little bit of damage, but like honestly, it did not really do that much damage. But you can go ahead and go for, I think you have to go for the bait, I want to say, but I guess not. Roar of Time coming through. The opponent is going to let this move go through, so I would have been wrong anyway, so that's kind of great for you. And now you're kind of forced to use some shields here. It's going to be just a crunch as expected. They get the debuff, which is quite annoying. I don't think it really matters. I think you're still going to be fine here. But shield coming through here, the opponent is still going to be forced to go for a charge move against you, but they don't do this. Their only play was actually to really farm you down there in order to get to a move against the Ho-Oh. And so, well played there, we can move on to the next opponent. We are going to see here now the opponent's Giratina in the lead against us next, which we're going to see the swap out immediately now into the Necrozma against the Dialga. I'm actually curious on how this matchup is going to work out. I guess you kind of want to use a shield? Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be the greatest matchup just because Necrozma has no real stab moves against the opponent here, of course. But at least you're going to be able to get that shield back very likely, as you can go for another Dark Pulse now, and they're still forced to go for an Iron Head. So like you can put them into a scenario where you would be able to farm down, I want to say, but you don't because you can actually just align yourself. Which is actually quite important, as the opponent is going to have, especially with this Pokemon here in the back. Xerneas in the back is going to be quite good for you, because now you have your Ho-Oh aligned against this Pokemon. And yeah, basically the game is over. Like there's nothing the opponent can really do here. They catch a move, which is a super effective move, which is quite a silly play. And now, yeah, this game has literally, unless they are running Thunder or whatever on their Xerneas, you're going to be totally fine here. Which they definitely don't, by the way, but yeah, you're going to be able to go for the full farm down, and they can go for all the charge moves they want. Like, they have 2 shields, but that's kind of great for them, because you don't really care too much about that. You can just go for an Iron Head if they want to use a shield, fine, but I think they already know this game is over, yeah. So, next opponent, we're going to encounter here the Zacian in the lead. That's going to be not really a great matchup for you, but it is still kind of neutral. Like, it is still something that you can at least still play out here. As you're going to see the Iron Head coming through, this is going to be able to do some decent damage. And now you could actually swap into the Necrozma as well. And you will swap onto the Necrozma to try to catch the close combat, and it works out perfectly. As you're going to get out also the opponent's Zygarde. I think you could have went for one more and tried to go for the future side, not too sure. I think the opponent, I think you would have still survived it, because like Zygarde doesn't do that much damage, which is like the downside of it, but like has insane amount of bulk, of course. As you can see here, another Dark Pulse is going to connect, which is quite nice. The opponent goes for their Crunch now, and so they most likely still have another Crunch stored at this point, because they went for so much, like so many fast moves basically. We're going to see the Dialga swapping back in. This is most likely a shield coming up for a potential Earthquake here, which it is, and now they are going to be energy dry. But not the Zacian, and he could actually decide to go for a shield again and just swap out now into the Ho-Oh, or go for the full farm down. That is even riskier, but that worked out quite well for you. In comes very likely not the Pokemon that we just had. It's going to be the Dialga, and you're forced to go for the bait here now and hope that the opponent decides to use some shields, as you can still reach another move, and you're going to swap out here onto a charge move into your Ho-Oh. Is this going to be the Iron Head? This is not an Iron Head, this is a Roar of Time, but you still have a chance here, but the opponent stops out anyway, so yeah, this game is over. The opponent should be fine if they let this move go through, exactly, their Dialga still has a shield, and so I don't think that he can go for 2 Iron Heads here before they can go for their own one. I think this is a CMP tie, and so this should be game. The opponent should be able to go for a charge move here, exactly, but still a very close one, still well played here, and we can move on to the next opponent. Let's see if Necrozma can do a little bit more here in this battle. We're going to encounter, a lead that you don't really want to face. It's going to be that Landorus. Landorus is going to be one of the Pokemon that you definitely kind of struggle against with this team. That's like kind of the core breaker of the Dialga and Ho-Oh core. And of course, Necrozma is not really the best Pokemon for the Master League anyway. If this Pokemon would have a little bit of a cheaper move, would be kind of cool, like... I don't know if it's... Night Sledge would have been cool, yeah. Night Sledge would have been very cool for this instead of Dark Pulse, but yeah, it is what it is. I think they kind of want to make this Pokemon not usable, so people are forced to go for those fusion forms, but yeah, we're going to see here the Dialga swapping in now against the opponent, very likely. Or do they go into the Ho-Oh? They decide to go into the Dialga. One shield farm down, get the energy. I think this is the right call to do here as well. Yeah, Roar of Time coming through, they don't get to another one for sure, and so you can just go up to your own one. You gotta swap out immediately against the opponent's lead of Landorus, and they're gonna go straight for the Sensor Storm. What a play by you as well. Very sad that they don't get the move in, but this is kind of how it's supposed to be anyway. I think that was actually the right way. And you can just take one Side Strike now. You can go for one more fast move, and you could decide to even go ahead and go for the, Sacred Fire here, which is going to have the chance of debuffing the opponent, which can be very important. And you do get the debuff, which is kind of nice. And so, you can let the move go through. You're going to be able to go back into your Dialga. Iron Head plus the fast move pressure should be enough as well. And you're in an actually decent spot at this point. We're going to see the shield is not coming up here as well, and you're going to be able to hopefully still reach another Iron Head in time. I think the opponent's kind of energy dry here, and I think you might be able to get to another move here, but let's find out as the opponent goes for the first charge move. Not too sure if they're going to be at 2 already. Let's find out here together. They're going to decide to go ahead and for one, but yeah, they're not at another one, and so the Iron Head is going to connect, knock them out, and win you the game. Next opponent, we're going to encounter here the Palkia and the lead again. Palkia against Dialga, great lead for you with the swap out straight away into the Landorus, which, yeah, is, again, a matchup that you cannot really align yourself against. Like, that's kind of the awkward thing about this kind of matchup here. You're going to have, now Pokemon that guarantees align themselves against this one. It's just like a little bit annoying here because, yeah, Landorus is quite common, but it's also like kind of common to break the core of Dialga and the Ho-Oh, but still, actually, Necrozma is doing quite okay in this matchup. I was thinking it would be a little bit worse than this, but you at least gotta get a shield advantage here, which is kind of cool. You can try to do the same play again and go into your Ho-Oh and try to catch a move, but this is now going to be a Stone Edge guaranteed, so that is not going to be something great. Oh, or the opponent decides to go for a bait. That's even worse for you, because now you're kind of forced to let this move go through. Hoping it's a Sensor Storm, it is luckily a Sensor Storm, but they swap out into their own Ho-Oh and you're double debuffed. So like this is going to do like what, 40%? Not even like 35 or something. That's kind of mad. But you at least can still get to another move here. Your play is to let the move go through from the opponent as well and just try to do your best with your Dialga, which I feel like is a fair play here. We're going to see the no shield, Sacred Fire coming through, and you can swap out now and hope for the best as the opponent is swapping into the Palkia and they just forfeit here. I feel like they still had a little bit of play if they played a little bit differently, but it is what it is. Another Palkia, another great lead win as we... Oh, I think you most likely kind of misplayed this one here in terms of swapping. I think you did not want to go for this move either. What is happening here? What is honestly happening here? We're going to see the future side coming in against the opponent. I think you wanted to go ahead and go into your Ho-Oh, of course. But yeah, I think there was just a misclick by this player, as we're going to see the Ho-Oh very likely coming in next, as you can have to, and you can go for the full farm down, but they can still get to another charge move here, and you're forced to go for a shield. And so, I feel like this is going to screw you up quite a bit, but it's going to be actually the Kyogre in the back, which kind of gives you some more play here. Like, this game is not over. This is like one of the best possible Pokemon that you could have imagined here for you in the back. You can go for the full... This is just an awkward here. This is not going to be the Spatial Rent, exactly. And so you can go for the full farm down here and hope that you can get off some Dragon-type moves against the opponent's Kyogre. Yeah, I think you're going to... that is kind of bad fast move timing. I think this might actually cost you the game. Let's see, the opponent decides to use a shield here. I think you still reach it. Okay, that was kind of lucky, but let's see if this is going to be able to knock them out. It is going to be enough, and we can move on to the final battle for today. Let's find out what they're going to run. We're going to have the Ho-Oh in the lead. There's going to be a kind of neutral one, honestly. Like, I don't really like this matchup in general for either sides. I feel like it's kind of awkward for both. But you can catch a move here, which is kind of nice. Going into the Ho-Oh as your say-swap instead here is quite an interesting play. You're going to get the debuff on you, but still, it is better than taking the move previously there. You're going to use a shield here as a Brave Bird would knock you out, but you can now keep all the energy to go up against a Zygarde. Going for the Fire-type move here is an interesting play, which is going to allow you to not drop the opponent's attack, so that was kind of more of an awkward play for you. But you can try to do it again. Kinda very likely that you get the debuff now, and yes you do, so yeah, that's going to be okay for you at least. I feel like the opponent's still going to go for another charge move here with the Crunch. They don't even knock you out. Can you still reach another move? You don't, and so it is down to the Dialga here, but it's a little bit of an awkward one, but at least they can go for the Roar of Time, which would knock them out if this move goes through, which they do. And we have to see what they're going to go into next. They're going to go into the Ho-Oh again, and you can try to catch a move, or you can go for one Iron Hat. And I guess this is going to be even better for you, forcing a shield from the opponent. You can let the move go through, maybe, and maybe you can see like a closer here with the Necrozma. Let's find out. Is this going to be a Dialga? I doubt that Necrozma can win this one. Yeah, this is not going to work out for you, but still, thanks for sending in the gameplay again. For the people who are actually going to the Go Fest currently, would really appreciate some gameplay with Marshadow as well as the other Necrozma forms as well as Rotom Heat. But yeah, this can be it. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.